I'm not sure why I'm writing this down on paper, not on my computer. I guess I just noticed some odd things. Not that I haven't trust my computer. I just need to organize my thoughts. I need to get down all the details somewhere objective, somewhere I know that what I write can't be deleted or changed. Not that that's happened, it's just everything blurs together here, and the fog of memory lends a strange cast to things. I'm starting to feel cramped in this small apartment. Maybe that's the problem. I just had to go and choose the cheapest apartment, the only one in the basement. The lack of windows down here makes day and night slip by seamlessly. I haven't been out in a few days because I've been working on this programming project so intensively. I suppose I just want to get it done. Hours of sitting and staring at a monitor could make anyone feel strange. I know, but I don't think that's it. I'm not sure when I first started to feel like something was odd. I can't even define what it is. Maybe I just haven't talked to anyone in a while. That's the first thing that crept up on me. Everyone I normally talk to online when I program has been idle, or they've simply not logged in at all. My instant messages go unanswered. The last email I got from anybody was a friend saying he'd talk to me when he got home from the store. And that was yesterday. I'd call with my cell phone, but reception's terrible down here. Yeah, that's it. I just need to call somebody. I'm going outside. Well, that didn't work out so well. As the tingle of fear fades, I'm feeling a bit ridiculous for being scared at all. I looked into the mirror before I went out, but I didn't shave the 2 days double I've grown. I figured I was just going out for a quick phone call. I did change my shirt, however, because it was lunchtime and I guess that I'd run into at least one person I knew. That didn't end up happening. I wish it did. When I went out, I opened the door to my small apartment slowly. A small feeling of apprehension somehow already lodged itself in me. For some indefinable reason, I chalked it up to having not spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. I peered down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. On the end, a middle, large door led to the building's furnace room. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I bought a soda from the first one the day I moved in, but it had a 2-year expiration date. Fairly sure nobody knows these machines are even down here, or my cheap landlady doesn't give a fuck to get them restocked. I closed my door softly and walked in the other direction, taking care not to make a sound. I have no idea why I chose to do that, but it was fun giving into the strange impulse not to break into the droning hum in the soda machines. At least for the moment, I got to the stairwell and took the stairs up to the building's front door. I looked through the heavy door's small square window and received quite the shock. It was definitely not lunchtime. City gloom hung over the dark streets outside, and the traffic lights at the intersection of the distance blinked yellow. Dim clouds, purple and black from the glow of the city, hung overhead. Nothing moved save the few sidewalk trees that shifted in the wind. I remember shivering, though I wasn't cold. Maybe it was the wind outside. I could vaguely hear it through the heavy metal door, and I knew it was that unique kind of late night wind, the kind that was constant, cold and quiet, save for the rhythmic music it made as it passed through countless unseen tree leaves. I decided not to go outside. Instead, I lifted my cell phone to the door's little window and checked the signal meter. The bars were filled up the meter, and I smiled. Time to hear someone else's voice, I remember thinking, relieved it was so much strange thing to be afraid of nothing. I shook my head. laughing at myself silently. I hit speed dial from my best friend's Amy number, and I held the phone up to my ear. It rang once, but then it stopped. Nothing happened. I listened to the silence for a good 20 seconds, then hung up. I frowned and looked at the signal meter again, still full. I went to dial her number again, but then my phone rang in my hand, startling me. I put it up to my ear. "Hello?" I asked, immediately fighting down a small shock at hearing the first spoken voice in days, even if it was my own. I had gotten used to the droning hum of the building's inner workings, my computer, and the soda machines in the hallway. There was no response to my greeting at first, but then finally, the voice came. "Hey," said a clear male voice, obviously of college age like me. "Who's this?" "John," I replied, confused. "Oh, sorry, wrong number," he replied, and hung up. I lowered the phone slowly and leaned against the fake brick wall of the stairwell. That was strange. I looked at my received call list, but the number was unfamiliar. Before I could think on it further, the phone rang loudly, shocking me yet again. This time, I looked at the caller before I answered it. It was another unfamiliar number. This time, I held the phone up to my ear, but said nothing. I heard nothing but the general background noise of a phone. Then, a familiar voice broke my attention. "John?" It was a single word in Amy's voice. I breathed a sigh of relief. "Hey, it's you," I replied. "Who else would it be?" she responded. "Oh, the number. I'm at a party in 7th Street. My phone died just as you called me. This is someone else's phone, obviously." "Oh, okay," I said. "Well, where are you?" she asked. My eyes glanced over the drab whitewashed cylinder block walls and the heavy metal door with its small window. "At my building," I sighed, feeling a bit cooped up. Didn't realize it was so late. "You should come here," she said, laughing. "Nah, I don't feel like looking for some strange place by myself in the middle of the night," I said, looking out the window at the silent, windy street that secretly scared me just a tiny bit. "I'm thinking I'm just going to keep working or go to bed." "Nonsense," she replied. "I can come get you. Your building is close to 7th Street, right?" "How drunk are you?" I asked lightheartedly. "You know where I live." "Oh, of course," she laughed subtly. "I guess I can't get there by walking, huh?" "You could if you wanted to waste half an hour," I told her. "Right," she said. "Okay, I have to go. Good luck with your work." I lowered the phone once more, looking at the numbers flash as the call ended. Then, the droning silence suddenly reasserted itself in my ears. The two strange calls and the eerie street outside just drove home my aloneness in this empty stairwell. Perhaps from having seen too many scary movies, I had this inexplicable idea that something could look in the door's window and see me. Some part of horrible entity that hovered at the edge of aloneness, just waiting to creep up on unsuspecting people that stray too far from other human beings. I knew by the fear was irrational, but nobody else was around, so I jumped down the stairs, ran down the alleyway into my room, and closed the door as swiftly as I could while still staying silent. Like I said, I feel like a little ridiculous for being scared of nothing, and the fear was already faded. Writing this down helps a lot. Makes me realize that nothing is wrong. It filters out half-formed thoughts and fears and only leaves cold, hard facts. It's late. I got a call from a wrong number, and Amy's phone died, so she called me back from another number. Nothing strange is happening. Still, there was something a little off about that conversation. I know it could have just been the alcohol she had, or was it even that her seemed off to me? Or was it? Yes, that was it. I didn't realize until this moment, writing these things down. I knew writing things down would help. She said she was at a party, but I only heard silence in the background. Of course, if that didn't mean anything in particular, that she could have just gone outside to make the call. No, that couldn't be it either. I didn't hear the wind. I need to see if the wind is still blowing. I forgot to finish writing last night. I'm not sure what I expected to see when I ran up the stairwell and looked out the heavy metal door's windows. I'm feeling ridiculous. Last night's fears seemed hazy and unreasonable to me now. I can't wait to get out into the sunlight. I'm going to check my email, shave, shower, and finally get out of here. Wait. I think I heard something. It was thunder. The whole sunlight and fresh air thing didn't happen. I went out to the stairwell and up the stairs only to find disappointment. The heavy metal door's little window showed only flowing water, as torrential rain slammed against it. Only a very dim, gloomy light filtered through the rain, but at least I knew it was daytime, even if it was a gray, sickly, wet day. I tried looking out the window and waiting for lightning to illuminate the gloom, but the rain was too heavy and I couldn't make out anything more than vague weird shapes moving at odd angles and waves washing down the window. Disappointed, I turned around, but I didn't want to go back to my room. Instead, I wandered further up the stairs, past the first floor and the second. The stairs ended at the third floor, the highest floor in the building. I looked through the glass that ran out the outer wall of the stairwell, but it was that warped, thick kind that scatters the light. Not that there was much to see through the rain to begin with. I opened the stairwell door and wandered down the hallway. The 10 or so thick wooden doors, painted blue a long time ago, were all closed. I listened as I walked, but it was the middle of the day, so I wasn't surprised that I heard nothing but the rain outside. As I stood there in the dim hallway, listening to the rain, I had the strange, fleeting impression that the doors were standing there like silent granite monoliths erected by some ancient, forgotten civilization for some unfathomable guardian purpose. Lightning flashed, and I could have sworn that, just for a moment, the old, grainy blue wood looked just like rough stone. I laughed at myself for letting my imagination get the best of me. But then that's when it occurred to me that the dim gloom and lightning must have meant that there was a window somewhere in the hallway. A vague memory surfaced, and I suddenly recalled that the third floor had an alcove, and we had set window halfway down the floor's hallway. Excited to look into the rain, possibly see another human being, I quickly walked over to the alcove, finding a large, thin glass window. Rain washed down it, and with the front door's window, but I could open this one. I reached a hand out to slide it open, but hesitated. I had the strangest feeling that if I opened that window, I would see something that absolutely horrifying on the other side. Everything's been so odd lately, so I came up with a plan, and I came back here to get what I needed. I don't seriously think anything will come out of this, but I'm bored, and it's raining, and I'm going stir crazy. I came back to get my webcam. The cord isn't long enough to reach the third floor by any means, so instead I'm just going to hide it between the two soda machines in the dark end of my basement hallway. Run the wire along the wall and under my door, and put the black duct tape over the wire to blend it in with the black plastic strip that runs across the base of the hallway's walls. I know this is silly, but I don't have anything better to do. Well, nothing happened. Propped open the hallway to stairwell door, steeled myself, then flung the heavy door wide open and ran like hell down the stairs to my room and slammed the door. I watched the webcam on my computer intently, seeing the hallway outside my door and most of the stairwell. I'm watching it right now. I don't see anything interesting. I just wish the camera's position was different so that I could see out the front door. Hey, somebody's online. I got an older, dysfunctional webcam that I had in my closet to video chat with my friend online. I couldn't really explain to him why I wanted to video chat, but it felt good to see another person's face. We couldn't talk very long, but we didn't talk about anything meaningful. But I feel much better. My strange fear is almost past. I would feel completely better if there was something odd about a conversation. I know that I said everything seemed a bit odd, but still, he was very vague in his responses. I can't recall one specific thing that he said. No particular name, no place, or event. But he did not ask for my email address to keep in touch. Wait, I got an email. I'm about to go out. Just got an email from Amy and asked me to meet her for dinner at the place we usually go to. I do love pizza, and I've just been eating random food from my poorly stocked fridge for days, so I can't wait. Again, I feel ridiculous for the odd couple of days I've been having. I should destroy this journal when I get back. Oh, another email. Oh my god. I almost left the email and opened the door. I almost opened the door. But I read the email first. It was from a friend I hadn't heard from in a long time, and was sent to a huge number of emails that must have been every person he had saved in his address list. It had no subject, and it said simply, "Seen with your own eyes. Don't trust them, they." What the hell was that supposed to mean? The word shocked me, and I kept going over and over them. Is it a desperate email sent just as something happened? The words are obviously cut off without finishing. On any other day, I would have dismissed this as spam from a computer virus or something. But the words, "seen with your own eyes," can't help but read over this journal and think back until the last few days and realize that I had not seen any other person with my own eyes, or talked to another person face to face. The webcam conversation with my friend was so strange, so vague, so eerie, now that I think about it. Was it eerie? Or was it the fear clouding my memory? My mind toys with the progression of events I've written here, pointing out that I've not been presented with one single fact that I did not specifically give out unsuspectingly. The random wrong number they gave my name and the subsequent strange return call from Amy, the friend that asked for my email address. I managed to message him first when I saw him online, and then I got my first email a few minutes after that conversation. Oh my god. That phone call with Amy. I said over the phone, I said that I was within half an hour's walk of 7th Street. They know I'm near there. What if they're going to find me? Where's everyone else? Why haven't I seen or heard anyone else in days? No. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I need to calm down. This madness needs to end. I don't know what to think. I ran about my apartment furiously, holding my cell phone up to every corner to see if it got a signal through the heavy walls. Finally, in the tiny bathroom near one ceiling corner, I got a single bar. Holding my phone there, I sent a text message to every member of my list, not wanting to betray anything about my unfounded fears. I simply said, "You seen anyone face to face lately?" At that point, I just wanted any reply back. I didn't care what the reply was, or if I was embarrassed myself. I tried to call somebody a few times, but I couldn't get my head up high enough. And if I brought my phone down even an inch, lost signal. Then I remembered the computer, rushed over to it, instant messaging everyone online. Most were idle or away from their computer. Nobody responded. My messages grew more frantic, and I started telling people where I was and to try to stop by in person for a host of barely passable reasons. I didn't care about anything by that point. I just needed to see another human. I also tore apart my apartment looking for something that I might have missed. Some way to contact another human without opening the door. I know it's crazy. I know it's unfounded. But what if? What if? I just need to be sure. I taped the phone to the ceiling in case. The phone rang. Exhausted from last night's rampage, I must have fallen asleep. I woke up to the phone ringing and ran into the bathroom, stood in the toilet, and flipped open the phone taped to the ceiling. It was Amy, and I feel so much better. She was really worried about me, and apparently I had been trying to contact me since the last time I talked to her. She's coming over now, and yes, she knows where I am without me telling her. I feel so embarrassed. I am definitely throwing this journal away before anyone sees it. I don't even know why I'm writing in it now. Maybe it's just because it's the only communication I've had at all since God knows how long. I look like hell too. I looked in the mirror before I came back in here. My eyes are sunken. My stubble is thicker. I just look generally unhealthy. My apartment is trashed, but I'm not going to clean it up. I think I need someone else to see what I've been through. These past few days have not been normal. I am not one to imagine things. I know I have been the victim of extreme probability. I probably missed seeing another person a dozen times. I just happened to go out when it was late at night, or in the middle of the day when everyone was gone. Everything's perfectly fine, I know this now. Plus, I found something in the closet last night that helped me tremendously. A television. I set it up just before I wrote this. It's on in the background. Television has always been an escape for me. It reminds me that there is a world beyond these dingy brick walls. I'm glad Amy's the only one responding to me after last night's frantic pestering of everyone I could contact. She's been my best friend for years. She doesn't know it, but I count the day that I met her among one of the few moments of true happiness in my life. I remember that warm summer day fondly. It seems a different reality from this dark, rainy, lonely place. I feel like I spent days sitting in that playground, much too odd to play. Just talking with her and hanging around, doing nothing at all. I still feel like I can go back to that moment sometimes. It reminds me that this damn place is not all that there is. Finally, I'll knock on the door. I thought it was odd that I couldn't see her through the camera I hid between the two soda machines. I figured that was bad positioning. Like I couldn't see out the front door. Should have known. After the knock, I yelled through the door jokingly that I had a camera between the soda machines because I was embarrassed myself that I had taken this paranoia so far. After I did that, I saw her image walk over to the camera down in it. She smiled and waved. "Hey," she said to the camera brightly, giving it a wry look. "It's weird, I know," I said into the mic attached to my computer. "I've had a weird few days." "Must have," she replied. "Open up the door, John." I hesitated. How could I be sure? "Hey, humor me a second," I told her through the mic. "Tell me one thing about us. Just prove to me you're you." She gave the camera a weird look. Alright, she said slowly, thinking. We met randomly at a playground when we were both way too old to be there. I sighed deeply as reality returned and fear faded. God, I have been so ridiculous. Of course it was Amy. And that day wasn't anywhere in the world except in my memory. I've never even mentioned it to anyone. Not out of embarrassment, but out of a strange secret nostalgia and a longing for those days to return. If there was some unknown force at work trying to trick me, as I feared, there was no way they could have known about that day. Alright, I'll explain everything, I told her. Be right there. I ran to my small bathroom and fixed my hair as best I could. I looked like hell. She would understand. Snickering at my own unbelievable behavior and the mess I've made for myself, I walked to the door. I put my hand on the doorknob and gave the mess one last look. So ridiculous, I thought. My eyes traced over half of the eating food lying on the ground. The overflowing trash bin, and the bed I've tipped to the side looking for God knows what. I almost turned to the door and opened it, but my eyes fell upon one last thing. The old webcam, the one I used for the eerie vacant chat with my friend. Its silent black sphere lay haphazardly tossed to the side. It's pointed at the table where his drawer lie. An overwhelming terror took me as I realized that if something could see through that camera, it would have seen what I just wrote about that day. I asked her for any one thing about us. She chose the only thing in the world that I thought they or it did not know. But it did. It did know. It could have been watching me the entire time. I don't want to open the door. I screamed. I screamed in uncontrollable terror. I stomped on the old webcam on the floor. The door shook. The doorknob tried to turn. I didn't hear Amy's voice to the door. Was the basement door made to keep out drafts too thick? Or was Amy not outside? What could have there been trying to do to get in, if not her? What the hell is that out there? I saw her on my computer through the camera outside. I heard her on the speakers through the camera outside. But was it real? How can I know? She's gone now. I screamed, shouted for help. I piled up everything in my apartment against the front door. I have to give him one thing. It's a great explanation. It neatly explains everything. It perfectly explains everything. In fact, I have every reason to shake off this nightmarish fear that something, consciousness, being out there wants me to open up that door so it can capture me for some horrible fate worse than death. It would be foolish, after hearing the explanation, to stay in here until I starve to death, just to spite that entity that might not have gotten everyone else. It would be foolish to think that, after hearing the explanation, I might be one of the last people left alive on an empty world, hiding in my secure basement room, biting up some unthinkable deceptive entity just by refusing to be captured. It's a perfect explanation for every single strange thing I've seen or heard, and I have every reason in the world to let it all go to my fears and open the door. That's exactly why I'm not going to. How can I be sure? How can I know that what's real and what's deception? All of these damn things with their wires and their signals that originate from some unseen origin, if they're not real, I can't be sure. Signals through a camera, faked videos, deceptive phone calls, emails, even the television lying broken on the floor. How can I possibly know that it's real? It's just signals, waves, light. The door. It's bashing on the door. It's trying to get in. No insane mechanical contrivance could have been used to simulate the sound of men attacking the heavy door so well. At least I'll finally see it with my own eyes. There's nothing left in here for it to deceive me with. I've ripped apart everything else. It can't deceive my eyes, can it? Seen with your own eyes, don't trust them. Wait. Was that desperate message telling me to trust my eyes? Or warning about my eyes too? Oh my god. That's the difference between a camera and my eyes. They both turn light into electrical signals. They're the same. I can't be deceived. I have to be sure. I calmly asked for paper and a pen, day in and day out, until it finally gave me one. Not that it matters. What am I going to do? Poke my eyes out? Bandages feel like part of me now. Pain's gone. I figure this will be one of my last chances to write legibly, as without my sight to correct mistakes, my hands will slowly forget the emotions involved. This is a sort of self-indulgence, this writing. It's a relic of another time, because I'm certain everyone left in this world is dead, or something far worse. I sit against the padded wall day in and day out. The entity brings me food and water, masks itself as a kind nurse, as an unsympathetic doctor. I think it knows that my hearing has sharpened considerably now that I live in darkness. It fakes conversations in the hallway, on the off chance I might overhear. One of the nurses talks about having a baby soon. One of the doctors lost his wife in a car accident. None of it matters. None of it's real. None of it gets to me. Not like she does. That's the worst part. The part I almost can't handle. The thing that comes to me, masquerading as Amy. Its recreation is perfect. It sounds exactly like Amy. Feels exactly like her. It even produces a reasonable festoon of tears that it makes me feel like its lifetime cheeks. When it first dragged me here, it told me all the things I wanted to hear. It told me that she loved me, that she had always loved me, that I didn't understand why I did this, that we could have still had a life together, only I would stop insisting I was being deceived. It wanted me to believe. No. It needed me to believe that she was real. I almost fell for it. I really did. Doubted myself for the longest time. In the end, though, this was all too perfect, too flawless.